This is exactly what you need to do to become unrecognizable and change your life in the next 90 days. You see, I used to be miserable in a job that I hated, making $55,000 a year. And after rebranding myself, I'm now a multi-million-dollar business owner and married to the man of my dreams. So if you want to completely rebrand your life and accomplish your dreams, these are the 7 steps that you can start doing today to become unrecognizable. Step 1 is a harsh reality check. You have to be brutally honest about who you are right now and what you desperately want to change. You see, when you look at your life and you're really honest, you can start to understand what you don't like. Instead of just pretending like you love your life and making it seem so pretty on Instagram and TikTok, what I recommend you do is take a step back and make a list with these 3 columns. Now, column 1 can be a little bit challenging because when you really take a hard look at your life, how many things do you love about your life that you don't want to necessarily improve? To be honest with you, when I think about the things that I love in my life, it actually required me to move on to column 2 in order to recognize that at one point, these items that I now like today actually used to suck. So column 2 is what sucks about your life. Now, this can be a whole variety of things, and feel free to not hold back. When you're really honestly auditing your life, it's okay to say, hey, I don't really love how my family treats me. I don't love the friends that I have. I want to have cooler friends who are doing more interesting things, who are supporting me. I'm not happy with the amount of money that I make. I don't like the way that my body looks. It's terrifying that summer's coming up and I'm not excited to be in a swimsuit. Whatever it is that you don't like about yourself, just be honest and put that in column 2. Column 3 is about an audit of your life should produce the exact things that you want to be different about your life. What's working now? What's not working now, and what do I want to specifically change? If you're not specific about what you want to change in your life, it's going to be hard to change those things because you don't know. You're just going to stay doing what you're doing. You're going to be disappointed. Avoid the broad, overwhelming goals and zoom in onto what truly needs to shift over the next 90 days. Get super clear on your vision and decide who you want to be known as in 9 days from now. What's so cool about this is you can literally change every single thing about your life in 90 days. You do not have to be the same person. And to be honest with you, remembering that is part of what makes this so much fun and actually easy. Next up is step number 2, which is that you cannot upgrade your life if you are still carrying around with you all of your old baggage. You have to become a purger. Declutter your life. Declutter your actions and the current habits that you have. When you look at your environment with a fresh set of eyes, it becomes a little eye-opening to see what can change. The easiest place for you to start as it relates to cleaning up your habits is actually cleaning out your physical spaces, like your kitchen, your pantry, your car, your closet. Get rid of the old things. And my challenge for you over this next 90 days is to also get rid of the things that you are doing that you used to use as an avoidance or reason not to handle your physical environment. So let's say you love to scroll on TikTok. You are a doom scroller. You look at your screen time right now and you find that on average, you spend 3 hours a day looking at other people's lives. Instead of doing that, you're going to work on your actual environment and you are going to feel so much better about your life. This rebrand starts with your space. That brings us to my personal favorite, step 3, which is you gotta upgrade your look. I've rebranded myself countless times, and when I think back to these decisions that I've made, the fastest way to actually make this pivot, to become this next version of myself, has always been first to change something about myself physically. And one of my favorite rebrands was when I decided that I was no longer wearing any color besides black and a touch of white. Because when I made this decision, it clarified who I was becoming. I no longer wanted to be this young girl who was buying all sorts of random things and never looked put together. I decided I'm always going to look put together. I'm always going to have my nails done. And I always attributed chic and elevated to wearing black because it always matches. Nobody ever looks bad in black. It's slimming and it's just really easy to buy. All of the best things come in black. So in 2018, I made this decision. I was no longer going to buy anything colored. You see, I was changing in the physical universe before I had actually made the change to be a more put together person. You don't have to wait the full 90 days in order to actually make the change that you're wanting to make. The challenging part of a rebrand is getting everybody else to start seeing you the way that you now see yourself. And so when you choose to change something physical about you, that could be your hair, your lipstick, the way that you dress, all of a sudden you're sending a signal to everybody else that something is different, that you are no longer the same person. And this helps you get to that actual behavior change, because without these signals, everybody thinks that you're the exact same. There's nothing different. So why would they treat you different? Why would they have different expectations of you? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the people around you either have to get on board with this rebrand or they have to get out of your life. And we're going to get to that in a couple points in just a second here. Next up is step number 4, which is getting to know your new best friend. Your calendar. Think of the next 90 days as a sprint. You are going to be a different person. You're going to act different. You are going to be different for the next 90 days. And in order for you to take different actions, you have to plan them in advance. You cannot act like the old version of you if you are trying to create a new version of you. Sounds really simple, but your calendar becomes your best friend because you can open your calendar and use your calendar to tell you to put in the future to create for you the moments of change. So let's say right now you do not work out. You are not somebody who consistently goes to the gym. Summer is coming. You're sick and tired of your own BS and your own excuses as to why you don't look the way that you want to look rocking a swimsuit next to the pool. Okay, great. This is what you're going to do. You're going to use your calendar. And for 4 to 5 days a week, you're going to no longer sleep in until 7:30. You're actually going to get up at 5:30 so that you can make it into the gym, and you're going to put that time in your calendar. The hack on that would be to spend your money, invest your hard-earned dollars into that time. Because if you had a trainer that you knew you were paying $100 an hour to at 6 o'clock in the morning for 5 days a week, I can very confidently say that you are not going to blow that person off. You're going to use money in order for you to force yourself to show up and to pay attention to the fact that you're now actually gonna get your goals. You're gonna have that dream body walking down the beach, feeling so great about yourself for all the great decisions that you made. The fastest way for you to rebrand is to track your activities using your calendar to understand where you are really spending your time, doing things like sleeping, eating, doing work, working out. If you use your calendar and think of it as your new bestie, and it's probably going to be your bestie for the restie, you're going to make change rapidly because you're planning ahead of time. You are forcing behavior change instead of just letting your existing habits take over your life. Step 5 is next, and this is a hard one. You need to surround yourself with people you want to be like. I know this is so hard to hear, but it's challenging to rebrand yourself while still holding on to people who want you to stay the same and potentially even want you to do worse. This is one of the most challenging things that I've had to confront over the course of my life, because it's so easy to think, oh, I want to have friends who have been with me since middle school and who are my ride or dies and have had all of this extended history with me. Or I grew up watching Sex and the City. Don't tell my mom. And I always looked up to these 4 women who supported each other and who were with each other through thick and thin. And then I compared those friends to my friends. And to be honest with you, most of my friends were not excited for me to change. They were not rooting me on as I tried to figure out this rebrand in my life. In fact, I was met with a lot of criticism and snickers and snide remarks that made me feel less than. And if I wouldn't have disassociated myself, I promise you I could not be talking to you like I am right now, because I wouldn't have the confidence that I have today. I had to remove myself because I was so clear on where I wanted to go. And I recognized, thankfully, in that moment that I just needed to be by myself for a bit. I needed to not have the friends and potentially sever some ties that had always been something that I'd wanted and that I'd looked up to. And I thought, oh man, I'm going to take all of these friends with me through the rest of my life. And it was really difficult for me to actually confront this. But when I finally did confront the fact that the people that were successful that I wanted to be like wouldn't be even bothered by the fact that my current friends didn't like those people, it's like, oh, I have this backwards. I have this mixed up. And I found Elena Cardone on the internet and I Instagram stalked her for many, many months. And I just kept asking myself this question: who would Elena Cardone be friends with? And how am I different from the type of person that she would be friends with? And I made a full list about the things that I knew I would need to do in order to make Elena Cardone my friend. And I had a really fun moment just last night where I went out to dinner with Elena, and she was so sweet and so kind. We've now been friends for a handful of years now, but back in the day, she wouldn't have wanted to be my friend. And that's because I didn't act back then the way that I do now. The hack for success is to get in the room with people who you want to be like. But if you can't get in the room, get as close as you can to them online, through the content that they create, through the books and the videos and the podcasts and the social media posts, and have that positivity and that great influence replace the people who are likely telling you that your dreams are silly and that you shouldn't rebrand, or might even laugh at some of the physical changes and the new looks that you're going to be serving might create. An extra little hack on this is start communicating with the people that you admire and the people that you want to be like. People are very accessible and they see you in their comments and their DMs. You being able to say, hey, I admire you, I look up to you, I'm watching you, and I appreciate what you're putting out there. That is you putting out into the physical universe the person that you are going to become and the person that you are becoming, because you're supporting and bringing more of what you want into your life today. Step 6 is next, which is that reinventing yourself publicly is the best thing ever. My biggest rebrand was from high school going into my freshman year of college. So I didn't have a lot of the fun moments that I feel like a lot of high schoolers experience because my parents were pretty strict. So going into college, I wanted to be this fun person, this cool person, and I didn't know how to be the fun and cool person because I'd never been the fun and cool person. And when I walked into college, I recognized that I just needed to be this new version of me, even though that was not who I was yet. I was not normally the person that went around all the different dorms and met everybody and created like a fun, cool environment. That wasn't me at all in high school, but that's what I did my freshman year of college. I literally went from dorm to dorm to dorm while everybody was meeting each other, and I just pretended like I'd always been there, like I knew what was going on. I was going to be this gregarious, outgoing person. And guess what? It worked. I made a lot of friends in college, and I became the person who at the party just like wasn't shy. I was talking to people, I knew people, and it's exactly who I wanted to be. And luckily when I was going to high school, I didn't have Instagram, so I didn't have all of this history that somebody could go look back on to see that maybe I was lame. You don't have to keep all of the existing content that you don't want the new friends to see. You can just create a new account and you can start creating content on that new account. You don't have to keep all of the old stuff. Archive it. It's already in your phone. You have the pictures, the videos. You already experienced that. Put it to bed. Let that person die. Become a new person. Rebrand yourself. And you can do that quite easily through the way that you show up and interact with somebody, and maybe just faking it till you make it for just a minute. If it's deleting all of the content, just delete it. You just have to be relentless about this new identity. Once you decide exactly what it is, keep your head down for 90 days and focus on this identity. Social media is such a great place to start because you can reinvent yourself at any time. Lastly, number 7, the best part of your journey is looking back and seeing how far you've come. Now, when I say document, I don't mean that you have to post everything. If you are on the down and the out, you do not have to post the down and the out right now. Keep it. And talk to yourself as if you're journaling your process, because you are going to become the person that you want to be. You have to have that confidence. You have to make that decision. If you're not that confident and you haven't made that decision, let's go back and start there. But once you have made that decision, it doesn't matter that it's embarrassing where you're at right now. It's okay that it's embarrassing. You should actually feel all of that embarrassment, all of that frustration, all of that disappointment. Let it wreck you, but document it. You can cry, you can have a conversation with yourself, talk to your future self. Some of my favorite videos are those moments that I recognize I'm making a big, bold move right now, and this is terrifying, but I know where I'm going, and I cannot wait to watch this and think, wow, I cannot believe you did that. You were so strong, you were so bold. But the thing is, I don't really post those videos. I have many of them, and they're not for the world to see, they're for me to see. And it makes me so proud of myself. So remember that you can still be proud of who you are today. You don't have to entirely erase your life, because everything that you've done, every decision that you've made, your brand that you have today is you. And it's never not going to be you. And you don't have to be ashamed about that. You don't have to be embarrassed by it. You should keep it and you should document it for yourself so that you do have this catalog and you do have this journey of your process. And at some point in the future, that can inspire somebody else. And there's nothing better through a rebrand than being able to actually impact other people's lives, because you said, I remember when I was in your shoes. And maybe at that point, you can share those videos and those stories to actually give proof to somebody that you know what they're experiencing and they're going through. So you have to document the bad things too. Like right now, you could stop watching this video and you could say, hey, I just watched this YouTube video and I'm going to change my life. And I'm excited about this person that I'm becoming. And you just talk to yourself through the process. Make it real. Get your thoughts from out of your head and all these ideas of a rebrand and make it real, because the mistakes you make and your journey is relatable. people do not want to take advice from perfect people. So during this 90-day period, remind yourself that this is your story to use when you're the future version of you. If you follow these steps in just 90 days, you will wake up a completely different person, more confident, more disciplined, and completely unrecognizable from who you are today. If you like this video and want to get unstuck in your life, check out this video.